Well, I've just watched the Super Bowl. Yuck, is all I can say. The symbology in that was absolutely insane. So I'll just go through it. It's a shame I haven't got the technology to sort of stop and start it and show you all. But anyway, the first thing I noticed at the very beginning was a wolf, something like a wolf or some nasty animal covering the world. And of course there was the globe. And then the second thing that I saw was a back to front queue. So that was a nod out to all of us. There was a palm tree, and I'm also wondering if it's a coconut, because that came up tonight on the show with the Schultzes and JQ and Gina. And I also noticed there's a building along the left-hand side with sort of what looked like sort of openings at the bottom of the building, like tunnels. Of course, it's the weekend, the end of the week, when we are weakened. So we're really primed for programming. It scans out, and then you end up seeing him sitting on a cube, which we know if you unravel a cube, it's a cross. And then there was that was it. Then the words that were along that sort of strip was after hours, which says to be the witching time, witching hours. There's like a blue angel or demon in the crucifix position coming down, who had red eyes. And then he was plonked into a whole mass of red-eyed demons. Hands up, surrender. There was like a portal gateway which he comes out of. Lots of dots and lots of stripes everywhere. And then there was one strange symbol that was lit up in a different colour from everything else from that background, which was like an N. I've got to do it this way, with a little kick out, which is some sort of symbol. I've got a feeling it's might be Kabbalah, or it's one of those. I'll have to look it up. And then straight away, alone, which back to front, again, always got to look at images, is Ilona. And there's a recent film come out called Ilona Holmes, which is the daughter or the sister of Sherlock Holmes, etc. Quite an interesting film. That's got loads of little subliminal stuff in it, of course. And then the word L-O, missing a V and an E. So it missed out the V for love. And of course, V is 5. And also to push the fact that at this time in the world, we are alone, pretty much. And then some of the words that were on the background were hours, enough, touch, long. There was also love contained in the shape of a penis. That's what it looked like. So it's all about penis love. Well, we know that because of their flipping great phallic symbols all over the shop. Also had there was an where did I write that? There was another. That was it. There's also the word kiss, but I couldn't see what was underneath it. And that again was shaped like a penis. And then above it was what was shaped like an upside down heart or a bottom, which then reflects, they're really programming us to now have this anal pee-pee bloody test with your bum. They do love the old bum sex. That's all about opening the gate to hell. Because once you've done that, you can't go back. Well, you probably can with a lot of prayer, but you've got to be really careful about that. The whole thing was about masturbation and being alone, and to try and get you to kill yourself. That's where I'm at with this. So you saw those words, and then just for a split second, probably 2 seconds, you then see a flipping great rope noose. And also one of the things behind him where he was singing at the back there was a symbol, and it had this strange looking noose in it, put your head in it, or almost like place your head like in a guillotine or in one of those stocks. That was the feeling on that. And it also looked like someone bowing over with their head as well. And there was one word in italics, which it looked like it said Yule. And I wondered if there were any letters underneath it. I don't think there were. The word long, and then he went into that strange sort of tunnel with all those lights, and that was really interesting because it said things like "you're mine," "gone," "feel nothing," "turn," ours, and alone. So you put those together and they're just trying to compound everybody's helplessness and feeling adrift at this time, stuck indoors in our little prison cells, obeying our masters. Yeah, it really horrible. And your mind, so, you know, they're, as far as they can see, that they're saying we're on the left-hand side and they've caught us all. And then you see all these masked men, and they're weird masks because it's much more like those sort of masks after you've had a facelift or something, more like a medical procedure. And one of the lyrics was, "I can't feel my face, but I love you." And of course, if you think about it, if you're wearing a mask, you can't actually feel your face. You can't see your face. And this is really awful for children because this is, you know, they can't see your expression. They want us all to be expressionless without being able to emit emotion. You know, slavery, it's shutting us up, it's condemning us. And that was interesting. And then the chevrons, when it goes back up, they're all mainly pointing left, except in the main scene where you've got some pointing both ways, but they're both pointing to the word alone. So they're just trying to really make you think, I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone, like a mantra. Yes, they point, and then there was another part where the background all looked like tombstones, and then you had the full moon rising. And I don't know if you know, in the UK, when you look at the moon, you see it's supposed to be a man in the moon, a face, which you can see quite clearly. But when I was in New Zealand, and this really freaked me out at the time, the moon has shifted in New Zealand, and you see a rabbit. So there's a white rabbit in the moon. Check it out, because there really is. So what are they doing? Saying, follow the white rabbit into confusion and down too many holes into hell. That's where they're really trying to pull us. And also the white rabbit with the significance of the adrenochrome as well, and the fact that they're all wearing red as per flipping usual. Yeah, again, there was the word love trapped in this symbol like a penis. And I thought, yes, they're trapping us to believe that sex is love. And not another emotion, you know, like a platonic relationship and love for our fellow man. And then one of the other parts of that is, I feel it coming. Yeah. So again, this is all about wanking. This is all about trying to get you to masturbate all alone and feel even more miserable. And then right at the very top of that, there was a red blinking eye on top of it all. And then I thought it was very interesting that all the guys behind The Weeknd, or whatever his name is, were all black, except the guitarist. And the guitarist then had like a blue shimmering mask on, again looking very AI. That's where the noose came across the screen. You can just see this big rope noose for a few seconds and it's gone. Because this is Suicide Weekend, they want everyone to top themselves. And sadly, I believe that those that are really programmed by all this possibly will. This probably will be a really big weekend for that. And we've had enough time of being upset because supposedly Biden's in and it's confused everybody. And, you know, that's what this is all about. And again, tears for another day. You know, keep crying, keep being miserable. These are all spells, all of these lyrics. And then you had the hashtag SBLV, which is obviously Super Bowl live. But is it? I need to look at that, whether that means something else. And then Verizon. So I don't know if that is the person that paid for it all, or what Verizon actually means. I don't know why. It makes me think of Horizon or something. And then two of the biggest words up there was touch alone. Well, what do you do when you're touching yourself alone? You're masturbating. Yeah, so this is really pushing for that. Yeah, and then also that kiss with the upside down heart. So this is upside down love, anal sex, the probe, and it also looked like a candle. And then it made me think about vibrators. And what do vibrators do? Why are they so, you know, really wanting women to have vibrators all the time, and men? Well, because it gets you out of your true frequency. It vibrates you into another you know, really into 3D, probably 2D, 1D, and even lower. It messes up your vibration immensely. So I highly recommend don't be using one of those. Really not really, really, really bad. And then there was, again, one chevron going up, which was near this kiss again. So just made me think of anal sex. And then there was one long word right at the end, which said feel. And it looked like there was a 4-letter word after which looked like N-O, but I couldn't see the last 2 letters. And I wondered if it said feel numb. I'd love to know if someone actually managed to see what that was, because I just couldn't. And then again, the big chevrons telling you to go left, go towards the devil. And then they all went out onto the pitch, and they had light on their gloves. And initially, when they were going like this with their gloves, it looked like a lit up staff or some magical sort of spear or weapon of some kind. Yeah, that was a bit creepy. And then, of course, marching, he was leading them marching into oblivion and slavery, and kept singing the words happily, happily, you know, you're happily going into your servitude. Please wake up, people. And also, you then realise those masks, they actually all look like mannequins. So they're not even real people, just clones of nothing. So leading the mannequins, and then suddenly all from going sort of very straight and in formation, it then went into total chaos. So they're leading us into chaos. And then he said, I'm guided by the light. I'm guided by the light. Well, what light? Yeah? Well, we know Lucifer's light. And I really believe the whole thing was just about masturbation to make you feel alone and bloody miserable. That's just a very brief decoding of that. And then, of course, the Pepsi sign, and I hadn't really noticed it before, it just looks exactly like a reptile eye half open. And during all of this, if you then are programmed into doing any of the things, they're then stealing our sex energy. That's the energy that they want. That's why they push porn so much. That's why they want you to be oblivious, to think that anything goes and it's all perfectly okay. And it's really not. It's not about do as thou wilt. Yeah? And celibacy is really major unless you're in a committed relationship. And then it was interesting. I just very quickly watched. There was about 6 or 7 adverts with the usual suspects in. And just very quickly, the first one was saying stay in 3D. That was, I think, with Malcolm, with, what's his name? Not McLaughlin, whatever he's called. And at first he's paper thin, and then he eats whatever, and he turns into 3D, and he gets stuck in the ventilator machine. And I thought, yeah. What they're trying to do is trap you down here on 3D so that you don't aspire to 5D. And the next one was about how much is a cup, and talking to Alexis, who was a black guy from, you know, the new film, that super film, or I think it was. I'm not sure. And then 16 tablespoons. And I just thought that was interesting. 1 and 6 adds to 7. It's obviously some sort of message. And then there was 4 women on horses, and it was the same woman, so they're showing that they're cloning everybody. And then the next one was for Cheetos, but it's telling us to cheat on everybody. That was really creepy, and like yellow finger marks everywhere, orange finger marks. And then I thought, is that some reference to Orange Man's left his fingerprints behind and he's gone? It was creepy. And also sort of inspiring you to video your partner. No, don't trust anybody, video everybody, see what everybody's doing all the time, you know, like nosy neighbours, and report everybody, and, you know, don't put up with it. And then, of course, the good old M&Ms. And what is M&M? When you turn it round, it's 33, so that's the great Masonic thing. And, of course, one of their favourite things is, you know, I won't eat your friends. Well, they want us to eat our friends. They want us to eat everybody, because they're all pushing for cannibalism. And then the creepiest of all was the end. And I cannot remember. I can't remember, was Winona Ryder in the original Edward Scissorhands? I'm not sure. But funnily enough, who was her very famous boyfriend, Johnny Depp. And she plays Johnny Depp's mother of Edward Scissorhands in this advert, and it just screams of me incest. it was just really creepy, you know, that she's now his mother. Yeah, the whole thing is sick. I hope any of you who aren't so awake have not been horribly affected by this. I'd say your prayers tonight and release any of it, any of the programming that it put across. But it was deep, deep with the flashing lights and everything else, and that's what they do. So just be really, really aware. But that was my take on tonight. Yeah, be great to hear what other people think and what other people saw in all of that. Okay, cheers and God bless, because we need as much blessing from God as we can possibly get at this time.